Hello, everyone. Welcome to day two of our Plan Your Number One Bestseller Challenge here in Self Publishing Made Simple. I'm Emmy, your host. It's so wonderful that so many of you here are joining in this challenge and getting you started with your book. I know that there are a lot of new members in our community as well. So if you haven't met before, I'm Emmy. I'm your host here in this community. I'm a three-time number one best-selling author, psychologist, and self-publishing coach, and I help successful entrepreneurs, coaches, and visionaries turn their passion into a number one best-selling book on Amazon. So warmest welcome, everyone. If you are tuning in live, please feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. Say hello. And if you are watching this on replay, simply type hashtag replay so I'll know who is actually tuning in and catching up and watching these videos. So yeah, I'm really excited to get started with our session today because day two is all about market research and keyword research. I have to say, here in the Self Publishing Made Simple community, I talk a lot about keyword research and market research because if you don't know how you're going to position your book in the market, it will be quite difficult for you to sell your book when you finally publish your book and launch it on Amazon. So we have someone tuning in saying hi again because I'm using StreamYard. I couldn't really see your name on my platform, so I'll have to check on my phone if I can see what's going on here. There's a little bit of a delay as well. So I need to wait a little bit for Facebook to catch up to let me know who's been tuning in live. But I could see here Mary. Hi Mary, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, I hope you have a great start to your year. And yeah, we are now in day two. I'm sure you are already familiar with keyword research and market research, but it would still be good to actually do it together if you have any challenges in terms of finding the high traffic, low competition keywords, which we will talk about a little bit more in detail later. We'll get to that as we go through this coaching call. So let's see. Oh, so we have Tara. Hi, Tara. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. We have Mary and G. Adele, I hope you're all doing well, and I hope that you're excited to go through the keyword research and market research. As I've said earlier, this is a very important step that I've noticed a lot of new authors make. Obviously, yesterday we did the understanding your why, understanding your core values, and I think that got you a bit energized and excited about getting your book done. And sometimes authors tend to use this fire, get really excited about the prospect of them writing a book, that they jump on and immediately write their books because they feel so excited about it. I would say that that's okay, if you feel the inspiration, go with the flow and tap into that inspiration. But also, you need to balance this with a little bit of market research and have some insight into what your readers are looking for. Because when you do your keyword research, when you do your market research right, you'll be able to understand what your readers need right now, what are their goals, their fears, their frustrations, so that when you start writing your book, you're getting into the mindset that you are actually reaching out to someone. This is not a monologue. This is not just about you writing a book. This is about you sharing your message, sharing some information, maybe even sharing the message of hope. Yesterday we were talking about your purpose, and we were talking about your core values, and so many of you have this intention to serve. You have this intention to heal trauma, or this intention to spread joy and kindness into this world. But if you're having a monologue with yourself and not really tapping into what your readers are looking for, then you're not really maximizing that two-way process. You really need to understand what your readers are looking for so you can write a book that will serve them well. And this is what day two is all about. Day two is all about understanding how to do market research and doing your keyword research right, so that when you start writing your book, you have the confidence that, first of all, that there is a demand for your book. When you start thinking about your book, you might get excited, and you might might think this is the best idea ever, and you just jump on and do it, when actually there might not be a lot of demand on that particular topic. Maybe you'll need to tweak it a little bit just to make sure that when you launch it, you can actually fit well in the market and that you can actually sell your book because there is a demand for it. So if you do your market research and your keyword research right, you will have the confidence that there is demand in your book, there's a demand in your topic. But also, more importantly, when you do your keyword research and your market research right, you're really getting an understanding of what your readers are looking for. What do they need right now? What are their problems? What are their frustrations? So that when you write your book, you will be able to deliver what they need right now. You will be able to write a book that will be more meaningful, that will be more practical and useful for those people you are aiming to serve. Awesome. So Mary is, yeah, I'm so happy that you are here, Mary. It's been a while. I think we've known each other online for about 3 years now. So it's great that you're tuning in live and joining us in this free 3-day challenge. So let's see who else is saying hi. So we have Tara and Cheryl, Cheryl Woodhouse, and G is also here. So warmest welcome. Let's get on to we'll go through the workbook together. If you haven't downloaded the workbook yet, all you have to do really is go to register at tinyurl.com/plan my book, and you will receive the email and the link to the workbook. But since you are here live, we can actually go through the workbook together. And if you have any questions or if anything is unclear in this process, please feel free to type them in the comments here. That's why we're doing this live, so I'll know exactly what you need, what you're struggling with, and maybe I can help you while we are doing this together. So let me just open my workbook. Yeah, there you go. So that's what the workbook looks like. It's the keyword and market research workbook. Here, yeah, it's just me saying that, yeah, you really need to understand what your readers need before you start writing your book, so you can write a book that will serve them well. And the first step in terms of understanding your readers is identifying who are your ideal readers. So yesterday, if your aim was, you want to help, if you want to help people get unstuck in their lives, the word people is too general. It feels as if you're talking to everyone, but you're not really talking to anyone, if that makes sense. It's too broad. So the first thing that you need to do here is really to identify who are your ideal readers. And if you can even create a reader avatar, create a name, a face, the demographic of your ideal readers, that would be great. Because when you start writing your book, you will have this image of your ideal reader in your head. And it's almost as if you are reaching out to that very specific person with very specific problems, very specific needs and frustrations right now. And when you have a person that you can imagine that you are really reaching out to, it will be easier for you to write a book that would be quite conversational, that would be that would seem as if you are talking to someone directly. I mean, from my students who have been through this process and they really create a very specific reader avatar, the feedback that they get from their readers is that, it feels as if you're talking to me. It feels as if you are addressing my problems and that you understand me and you are here to help me with my problems. And that's why we are doing this exercise today, really trying to get into the mindset of your readers, so that even before you start writing your book, you know that there is someone on the other side of the page reading your book who actually have specific needs, they have specific goals, they have specific circumstances. And if you can create an image of this person to be very, very specific about who you're talking to, then your book will become, it will feel more personal. It will feel as if you are talking to a real person, and it will be easier for you to write your book because now it seems real. Now it seems as if there is someone else on the other side, that you're serving someone else, and you're doing what your main purpose was. We were talking about your purpose yesterday. If your purpose is to serve someone, the question is, who is this person? Who is this someone? So this first question around who are your ideal readers, if you can be as specific as possible, that would be great. And if you can create an image. So for example, if you are a coach who is trying to help women overcome, cope with traumatic experiences or heal from childhood trauma, you can create a reader avatar and say you would like to reach out to someone who is called Jenny. She's 38 years old, and she's trying to recover from, to get over her childhood trauma, because as a child she experienced domestic abuse as a child. Now that she is in her late 30s, she might be having difficulties trusting men, and having difficulties in terms of building these lasting relationships. She feels guilty that she's not able to keep her relationships, that sometimes she might cling on and seek abusive relationships as well. So you have to create a very specific scenario, see who this ideal reader is. And when you see that this particular person has a problem, and that you can, with your book, help them to resolve this problem, you will feel even more motivated to get your book out, and also help you to clarify what sort of content this reader will find helpful as you start writing your book. So in your own time, go through the workbook, be very specific about who your ideal readers are. If you can create reader avatars, create an image, give them a name, give them a face, give them a backstory, so that when you start writing your book, you can always go back to, let's say, for example, you created a reader avatar, and your reader avatar's name is Sarah. You can consult with Sarah and say, I wonder what Sarah would need right now, or what piece of content, what piece of information would she find helpful given the scenario that she's in right now. So do spend a little bit of time on this, identify your ideal readers, and here are some prompts as well from the workbook. Identify, what do they need right now? What are their goals? What are their fears? And what are their frustrations? So for example, if you, again, if you are a coach who's helping women heal from trauma, or maybe you are someone who's helping other women recover from domestic violence or escape an abusive relationship, what do they need right now? Maybe they need to be heard. They need to understand what abuse is, to identify what are the telltale signs of abuse, what is hidden abuse, and maybe they also need information where they can get support, or maybe they need some practical strategies on how they can get out of that scenario. So really identify what are their specific needs, and here, for example, what are their goals? Maybe their goal is to get out of that abusive relationship, and maybe to find freedom and to find autonomy, or to find joy in their life again, to be able to trust again. So there are goals that are immediate, but there may also be goals that you can really dig deeper, to really tap into to the innate human needs, like the need to feel that they belong, the need to feel safe. Maybe it is their goal to find freedom and autonomy, and to feel secure once again. So you can write those down again on those different layers. What are their immediate goals, and what are the underlying intrinsic, deepest desires that they may have. You can also identify what are their fears. So maybe one of their fears is that if they move out of this relationship, that they will be judged. Maybe they are afraid that people will think that they are victims, and they don't want to be labeled as victims. Maybe they are scared that if they get out of this relationship, that they wouldn't feel secure, that they would lose financial stability, for example, because held if they've been held in an abusive relationship, and the abuser is holding all the finances, then how are they going to support themselves? So identify all of these fears, really dig deep into what their fears are. And maybe in terms of the frustrations, maybe they're frustrated that they want to get out of this relationship, but they don't know what to do. They are frustrated, and maybe they are getting quite annoyed with themselves as well, because they want to do something, but they feel helpless. So identify these fears, these frustrations, their goals, what do they need. And if you feel that you are second guessing, that you're not really sure what your readers need, you can actually ask them. You can go to Facebook communities and ask these questions with your target audience. You can run a survey. Back in the day, when I was an action researcher. I was a community engagement research person. That was my specialist area in psychology, because I'm a community psychologist. I would do focus groups. I would do participant observation. I would carry out surveys and world cafes, photo voice, and all these things. But now with Corona, it might be quite difficult to run focus groups and interviews. You can do that on Zoom, but I think the easiest way to do this is if you go in communities on Facebook, ask the question on Facebook. You can go on blogs. You can go to YouTube. I mean, there are people who create vlogs. Read through the comments. See what people are looking for. See what do they need right now. Particularly in your niche. Look at bloggers. Look at so much information available online. Even for example, on Reedy, what's it called? Reedsy? I can't remember what that website. Reddit. There you go. Reddit. You can go through all of these platforms and do your market research there. So you don't really have to second guess what your target audience are looking for right now. So identify what do they need, identify their goals, their fears and frustrations. And when you get into the mindset of your reader, you will feel more comfortable, more confident that your book will be able to serve those people you're aiming to serve, that you wouldn't really have to second guess what you need to put in your book, because your readers will actually tell you what they need right now. Let them help you shape your book, what they would find valuable. Because sometimes, like for example, for me as an academic, I wrote textbooks because I know what the curriculum looks like. I know what I need to teach my students. But in terms of writing self-help books, I really had to tap into what people will need in their day-to-day lives. So really, spend a bit of time on your market research. Reach out to your audience. Go on Facebook communities. Ask the question. If you already have existing clients, you can even ask your clients about this. You can run a survey, or just have a conversation with someone who might be your ideal reader avatar, and just have a chat and talk about their needs, their goals, their fears and frustrations. Awesome. So let me just have a look at the comments, see what's going on in the comment section. We have here a comment from, it says Facebook user, but actually this is Sharon. Hi Sharon, I hope you're doing well. I heard you have a third lockdown in the UK. I'm so sorry to hear, but I hope you're coping well, and I hope that you're getting support if you need support while in this challenging while you're in this challenging time. So Sharon says, loving the practical tips on identifying fears. Yeah, certainly for me there are things, as a psychologist, I could sort of have an idea of what my readers might what are their fears, their frustrations, and so on. But it is still more powerful to actually have a conversation with someone, your ideal reader, and really understand what they need right now. So, okay, let's move on to the next part, because I think this is something that a lot of my students, even when they join the Get It Done Challenge, they do struggle a little bit with the keyword research. And again, I talk a lot about keyword research inside our Self-Publishing Made Simple community, because when you do your keyword research right, you'll be able to understand what readers are looking for on Amazon right now. You'll understand the competition. And when you understand that there is a demand for your topic, you will have the confidence to write your book, because you know that what you are writing is something that people are looking for right now. So you can see this on the workbook. You can list your keywords, the search volume, and competition. And I use the tool Publisher Rocket to do my keyword research. And we'll go into Publisher Rocket in a minute, just to give you a little demo on how we do keyword research if you want to do this right. So let me just remove this and share with you how do I share my screen now? Okay, share screen, application window, open Publisher Rocket. Hang on now. There it is. Okay, share. Right. Okay. So I hope you can see that. Just to give you an idea of what I mean by keyword research. And these are some of the keywords that I was playing around before we started this live. So there are so many of you who are coaches, life coaches, and from our conversation yesterday, some of you want to write a book around healing from trauma, forgiveness, childhood trauma, domestic abuse, and domestic violence. So I typed those in. I typed those in Publisher Rocket. And as you can see, Publisher Rocket gave me some suggestions, not just, from healing from trauma. You can see here that you have 185 searches per month, which is not really it's not huge, it's not a lot. So you actually need to drill down a little bit more and identify more high traffic keywords from this. You can see that this particular keyword, healing from trauma, the average monthly earnings from this keyword is around $4,000 per month, which is actually quite good. But in terms of estimated Amazon searches per month, there are only 185 searches per month. So that's not actually huge. So you need to keep digging deeper. So when I had a look at the other suggestions here, you can see here, healing from divorce has 183 searches per month. Let's have a look here at healing from affair, people who are cheating. And if someone needs to heal from that, let's see how many people are typing that in the search bar per month. So that's around 515 searches per month. It's okay, but we need to have higher. We're aiming for the 1,000 plus searches per month, so that you really have that confidence that your topic is worth pursuing. You can see here, healing from hidden abuse. Now we're getting somewhere, 624 searches per month. And what I've noticed here is the bit around healing from childhood trauma. That's over 1,000 searches per month. The books that sell the books that use that particular keyword are selling quite well, and the competition is not that high. So healing from childhood trauma is something that is in demand. You can see that over 1,000 people type those keywords on Amazon per month. So if that is a topic that you want to pursue, then go for it, because you can see that people are actually looking for it. And if you look at the competition here, that's why I absolutely love Publisher Rocket. You can see your competition here. There's this healing from hidden abuse. It's making around $2,500 per month. There's one around complex PTSD, which is making a ton of money, 12,000 plus dollars per month. There is a practical guide to complex PTSD. There is an associated workbook that goes with that, childhood disrupted. So how your biography becomes your biology and how you can heal. It's not making a ton of money, but it's not a bad start. But as you can see here, there's one around healing childhood trauma. The cover is not great. So that's why I actually do encourage my students to have a look at the market as well, because you will see that the ones that are presented professionally do well, and the ones who sort of scrimp on the cover, they don't do very well, even if they are using high traffic keywords. Here, it didn't start with you, how inherited family trauma shapes who we are and how we end the cycle. It's making around $4,475 per month, and so on and so forth. So that's why it's really important for you to do your keyword research and market research, so you can identify what's already out there, what's the gap that you can fill when you actually write your book. And if you want to check out the books that's already out there, check them out on Amazon. Have a look at the reviews on those existing books and see what people are still looking for even after they've read that particular book, because at least you will understand what those gaps you can fill. Maybe people are actually looking for something more practical, or maybe they're looking for something more specific. And when you do your market research, it will give you a really good insight into what your readers need right now. So that's just one example. Let me just have a look. Someone asked the question, what is a good average search number? If you can have something that is over 1,000 searches per month, that would be a good start. If it is less than 100 searches per month, it gives you an indication that you need to dig a little bit deeper. You need to explore the market a little bit further. And I have to say, with my one-to-one clients, we do spend a whole hour, sometimes even more, trying to find these high traffic, low competition keywords. And what I find as well is that those clients who really understand their market, keyword research comes naturally to them. They will give me a keyword, and immediately we get the thousand of searches per month, because they understand their market inside out. So if you are just starting out, make sure that you do your market research first. Ask your audience, ask your potential readers, get in touch. If you already have existing clients, have a conversation with them as to what kind of book they would want. Jot down, key ideas, key themes. And then when you go on to Publisher Rocket, type those keywords on Publisher Rocket. It will spit out some suggestions for you, and you might go down the rabbit hole and see that you might find different angles on how you're going to present your book. And for me as a researcher, that's what I love so much about keyword research and market research. One of the students that worked with me, you've seen her around, Joyce Carrera, the SEO content writing expert in our community. She's one of the Get It Done Challenge graduates from June 2020. And the first time we had the conversation around her book, she wanted to write a book around wedding planning. And we did the keyword research, explored it. And there's not a lot of demand for wedding planning. And, maybe there's demand on Google, maybe there's demand on YouTube, but there's not a lot of demand on Amazon. So it helped her to find another niche, find another topic. And that's how she ended up with SEO and content writing, because we found that there are thousands of searches on those keywords per month. And when she tapped into that, she really went into it. She understood the market. and she found a way to deliver her book, to identify gaps in the market. And now, she's selling, she's hit number one, got her orange badge because the keyword research gave her an insight into what the market is looking for even before she started writing her book. And when you do your keyword research and market research, it will also give you ideas on what to include in your book, what sort of chapters you could include in your book, because yeah, Publisher Rocket spits out some ideas for you. And it's gonna give you an insight into what content you can include in your book. Nikki is asking, well, Dorothy is her name here. Is there a recording for this? I joined late. Don't worry. I know that it's very late in the Philippines. I'm surprised that you're tuning in live. There is a replay for this live coaching session. So if you want to catch up on the replay, that's absolutely fine as well. But yeah, if you just joined now, the first thing that we discussed today is the market research. Make sure that you understand your audience, understand their, get into their head, and understand what do they need right now, what are their goals, their fears, their frustrations. Ask them directly if you have to. And once you've done that, then you can do your keyword research, identify the high traffic, low competition keywords, and you can refine your topic, and you will sort of get an idea of how you can shape your book so you can serve your audience well. Awesome. So let's carry on with hang on. Where is my Publisher Rocket? Can you see Rocket? Yeah, awesome. All right. So I'll give you another example here while I was playing around with Rocket. You can see here forgiveness. I know that again, the coaches in our community, the life coaches, the empowerment coaches, and those who are helping others heal from trauma and so on. Forgiveness is also a key component in terms of healing from trauma. So I typed that in, forgiveness, finding forgiveness. It's a really broad topic. It's very general. So as you can see here, the Amazon searches per month is less than 100. So that's not really good. You need to actually be more specific and find those high traffic keywords. You can see here, forgiveness is a choice, 164 searches per month, not that great. Forgiveness and reconciliation, 119. Here, now we're getting somewhere. You can see that Forgiveness Journal has 1,868 searches per month. So that gives us an indication that for those people who are going through this process, that they want to heal, that they want to forgive, maybe they're not really looking for something around forgiveness, telling them what is forgiveness and how to forgive and so on. They're actually looking for something that is more practical, something that can help them to process their thoughts, something that can help them to process their journey. And what good way to do that than, having a forgiveness journal. So there are 1,868 people typing those keywords per month, forgiveness journal. Certainly there is a demand for it. And if that's something that you want to pursue, then at least you can be confident that there is a demand for it. So if we have a look at the competition here, just to explore the market a little bit more, just to see what books are already out there. There's I think if Iyanla Vanzant, I think this is a New York Times best-selling author, amazing woman. So she has the 21 Days to Forgive Everyone for Everything. That's actually quite powerful. So there's a book that's already out there. It's Not Supposed to Be This Way, Finding Unexpected Strength When Disappointments Leave You Shattered. That's actually making $7,000 per month. So that's actually doing really well. This one is a step-by-step process for resolving anger and restoring hope. That's doing okay. Could be better. As you can see, the cover can be improved. It looks a little bit self-made. So if they go with a more professional designer and tweak this cover a little bit more, I think they can do a better job at this. You can see here the Dalai Lama, the Book of Joy, Lasting Happiness in a Changing World. Forgiveness is not in here, but it probably appears in the book description. So that's another thing that you can do with your keyword research. When you do your keyword research, you use the keyword research data to optimize your books page. So you can incorporate the keywords in your title, your subtitle, your series title, and maybe incorporate them in your book description so that when the Amazon bots, when they go through your book page and see that these keywords appear on your page, then they will the Amazon bots will identify your book as relevant to these keywords, and they will show up on the Amazon search page. When someone types in those keywords on the search bar, it's more likely that your book will turn up because the Amazon bots will identify your book as relevant to these keywords, especially if you've incorporated them in your metadata. That is your title, your subtitle, your series title, and your book description. So that's why it's really important to do your keyword research. I have to say, when I work with one-to-one clients, yeah, we do spend an entire hour just really focused on working on the keywords. And for those who are registered in the Get It Done Challenge, week one, we spend the whole week sorting out the keyword research and the market research. And for those who struggle with the keyword research, we do get together on Friday, go through the numbers with them, go through the data with them, and if they really couldn't find the high traffic, low competition keywords that we're aiming for, we brainstorm. We brainstorm in the community. And what I loved with the June 2020 cohort, because it's such a supportive, warm community, we do brainstorm. If someone couldn't find their high traffic keywords, others would make a suggestion. They would say, oh, why don't you try finding happiness, or why don't you try this keyword instead, or this angle? And it's just wonderful to witness that. You don't feel as if you're doing it alone, and if you do feel stuck, there are people around you supporting you through that process. So let me just pause here for a little bit, see what we have here in the comments. Nikki says it's 3 a.m. in the Philippines. I cannot believe that you're still awake. You have to go to sleep. You can. Well, it's good. I do appreciate that you joined us live, and I hope that you're finding this helpful. We have here Facebook user. Let me just have a look who Facebook user is. If it's already available on my phone. I think this might be Deb. So Deb is saying, I suspect that the words people know about the topic that I won't be writing about will make it difficult for me to market my simplified bigger picture. That's actually quite common. That's why we do a little bit of tweaking as well. We do the market research just to get an insight into to what people might be putting in on that search bar, because the last thing you'd want to happen is for you to write a book and for people not to find your book when you publish it. You pour your heart and soul. It takes time to write your book, and for some of you actually do need to invest as well when you publish your book. So the last thing you'd want to happen is for people not to find your book because it's not appearing on Amazon. There are ways to tweak the keywords and incorporate them in your book description, if not in your title or subtitle. But ideally, if you can identify those high traffic keywords and add them, particularly the first 3 words of your title, when Amazon finds those keywords on your title, it's obvious that your book is about that, and they're going to recommend readers to check out that book if they type those keywords on the search bar. Okay, we have a question here from Angela. What does it mean when you click on competition and the titles that show are not related to the search term? With poetry, the weirdest things can pop up. Yeah, I have to say that's probably because with the poetry, they are quite creative. It can get abstract sometimes. when it comes to the competition, when you click on the competition, what happens is those keywords, if it's not appearing on the title or subtitle, it's possible that it's appearing on their book description, or maybe it's appearing on their on the reviews on that book. So it's still going there even if it's not appearing directly on their title or subtitle. Awesome. All right. So Deb is saying yes. Yeah, she doesn't want to mislead some readers. I think I did mention that earlier. You don't necessarily have to mislead your readers. We don't want to mislead your readers, because the last thing again you'd want is for them to buy your book thinking that your book is about something, and then it's not, and then they give you a 1-star review because they get disappointed that it's not what they were looking for. You can certainly incorporate them in your book description as well. But what I have to say about this, Deb, is if you do your market research, have a chat with your ideal readers, have a chat with your with your clients, for example, or who you want to serve. Run surveys, interview people, just or do the research on blogs, on YouTube. I do a lot of research on YouTube, not necessarily on the videos, but I scroll down the comments. Some of the most hilarious arguments you will find on YouTube comments, but you get an insight into what people are looking for and what they are struggling with right now. But do your market research, and you will find those keywords that your readers are looking for. There is a temptation, especially for example, for us academics, to use a little bit of jargon, technical terms, because that's what we're used to. But when it comes to keyword research, get into the mindset of your readers and use the words that they are using so they can really easily relate to you. If your purpose is to reach out to those people, you really need to have that dialogue, to have that conversation with them so you can connect with them on a more personal level, and your book will reflect that when you do that, when you write your book. Awesome. So someone asked how much is Publisher Rocket, and Angela answered, thank you very much, $97, and that's lifetime access to Publisher Rocket. So if you want to check out Publisher Rocket, simply go to tinyurl.com/SPMS Rocket. Yeah, you get lifetime access to that, and I absolutely love Publisher Rocket. I use it all the time. I use it with my students. I use it with my clients. It is a great investment. I couldn't recommend it highly enough. Nikki, well, Dorothy here says, this might have been discussed earlier, but how can I get Publisher Rocket? Yeah, go to tinyurl.com/s. Let me, I couldn't type it in because I'm on StreamYard. Yeah, if you go to tinyurl.com/SPMS Rocket, you can get it there. And Nikki, because you are already inside the Get It Done Challenge, certainly we will cover this in week 1. I'll help you out with your keyword research if you struggle. But if you want to get a head start now, do your market research, ask your audience now, ask your ideal readers, have a really clear picture on who you are trying to serve with your book. Do your research, and it will be easier to do the keyword research later on when you're in the mindset of your readers. And I have to say, I'll give you another example. One of my clients, you saw her interviews last week, Celia Kibler. She's the author of Raising Happy Toddlers. Before she worked with me, she had this book called Taming the Toddler or something like that. And we did the keyword research. There was not a lot of traffic, not a lot of demand on Taming the Toddler. And when we put it on Publisher Rocket, Raising Happy Toddlers, that's actually coming from the readers. When I asked her, so what do parents want? What is it that what's their goal? What is their aspiration? And she said, they just want to raise happy toddlers. They want to develop good parenting skills. And we typed those in Publisher Rocket, because she's been doing this for all her life, really. She's a mom, she's a grandmom, she has like hundreds of clients and so on. So she knows her market inside out. And when we did the keyword research, she really understood what her readers are looking for. So it was really easy to do the keyword research with her. and we had to tweak her title and subtitle and incorporate, raising happy toddlers, building good parenting skills, because that's what her readers are looking for. And it was so much easier to launch her book and to market her book, because yeah, Amazon is showing her book when people type in those keywords, and now it resonates more deeply with what she stands for. Just having to spend that hour just really clarifying, first of all, clarifying your core values. We did that yesterday. Clarifying your aims, clarifying your purpose. And with Celia, when we did the keyword and market research, now she feels that she's more aligned. It's more aligned with her brand. Her original title, Taming the Toddler, it's almost as if you have an animal, you have a beast that you have to tame. But when we spent that time together doing the keyword research and really identifying the goal of raising happy toddlers, and seeing on Publisher Rocket that this is what the parents are looking for, it really just lit her up. It's this is what she stands for. She wants to empower families. She wants to raise happier toddlers. She wants to empower the parents and give the parents the amazing parenting skills, so everybody's happy. So she's incorporated that in her title, in her subtitle, in her series title, in her book description, and it just makes it so much easier to publish her book and launch it to number one bestseller on Amazon. So that's why we do spend a lot of time on keyword research and market research. And I do encourage you, after this call, if you need to spend a little bit more time with market research and keyword research, please, by all means, do that before you start writing your book. Please do your market research and keyword research, because it will certainly help you to understand what you need to include in your book, which angle you need to take, what chapters, and maybe you might even consider laying out the entire series. Because if you find that you're covering too much in one book, then maybe you will have an idea for another book and another book. Maybe have a 5-book series and create a portfolio of books on Amazon. 20,000 words per book over the whole year. Publish a book every 2 to 3 months or something like that. So do your keyword research, do your market research, and certainly if you need help, do reach out. And if you are already inside the Get It Done Challenge, we meet every Friday. We review your data, and if you do struggle finding those high traffic keywords, we will brainstorm, we will get you unstuck and get you going so you can get your book done. Awesome. So Angela has put here, thank you very much. So it's tinyurl.com/SPMS Rocket if you want to get Publisher Rocket and explore it. And I have to say, they do have a 30-day money back guarantee, so you can test it out. And if you feel that it's not right for you, then you can just ask for a refund. We're actually good friends with the creator Dave Chesson, and if you explore the if you explore our community and type Dave Chesson, I actually did an interview with him last year on why you need to do keyword research. So if you want to dig deeper into keyword research, Publisher Rocket, the creator of Publisher Rocket is actually inside our community, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love Publisher Rocket, because first, it helps you with the keyword research, it helps you with the market research, you see the competition, and later on, in the long run, don't think about this for now, but I'm dropping it in right now. If you want to explore it in the future, it can help you with Amazon ads as well, because it generates the keywords for your Amazon ads, and it helps you with the category research as well, which is something that I help my students with in week 10. Once they get their books done, we do the category research just before they publish their books. And that's something to think about in week 10. The main goal for now, we've already identified your purpose. You already know why you are writing your book. Today, you are doing the market research and the keyword research. And then tomorrow, you can do your outline, knowing that your topic is in demand, knowing that when you publish your book, there will be people who will be looking for your book and buying your book when you finally launch it. So we have here, I'm making keyword research my priority. I mean, yes, please, please, please do that. As authors, as I've said earlier, you will get so excited, especially after what we did yesterday with understanding your purpose. Like, oh, you're going to serve so many people. You're going to help so many people. You have so much love and kindness and knowledge to share that it's quite tempting to just get on with it and start writing your book. But you need to do your keyword research and market research. Involve your readers, your potential readers in this process. That way, you will serve them better. You will deliver content that will be valuable for them. At the same time, you can identify the demand in the market. You can identify the competition, identify the gaps in the market, so you can deliver something that is also valuable in the market. Right. So Nikki is asking, is this app only for books on Amazon or for other Amazon products too? I'm afraid that's only for Kindle and Amazon books. So it's only for the bookstore and not Amazon products in general. But they do have a column on Google searches. So it actually does identify how many searches per month people type that on Google. So you have Google searches and Amazon searches per month. But the column that you really need to look out for is Amazon searches per month and the competition, because you might get a really high keywords searches per month. But if the competition is high, like if the competition is 100, it means that it is difficult for your book to be visible even if you're using that keyword. So for example, from my experience, for my second book, I wanted to write a book around self-doubt. I'm a psychologist. I want to help people to build their confidence, to overcome self-doubt and all that. So in my keyword research, I typed in how to overcome self-doubt or how to manage self-doubt. And there are several thousands of searches per month with self-doubt. That's absolutely fine. But I also found that the competition for that keyword is very high. There are thousands of books on that topic, and it would be quite difficult for me to compete with that keyword because it's too noisy. So I dig a little bit deeper. I look for the gaps, and the gap that I found was imposter syndrome. Essentially, imposter syndrome is this persistent feeling of self-doubt, this feeling of incompetence, this feeling of inadequacy, that despite evidence that shows that you're good at what you do, you still doubt whether you're good enough. So it's still in that remit of self-doubt, and it's still within the remit of my expertise. I've identified imposter syndrome as a high traffic keyword, but the competition is low. So I went for it, and it's something that I'm really proud of. And yeah, it's what I wrote, and it all boiled down to the keyword research, guiding me on how to frame my book so I can compete on Amazon when I launch my book. Awesome. So let's have another example. Where's is it showing? Hang on. Oh, it's not showing. Let's see. How do I share my screen again? There it is. Okay, let's go for another one before we finish this live coaching call. Impact of childhood trauma. Again, I typed that in because I know that some of you are planning of writing a book around this. You can see here childhood trauma has 1,192 searches per month, which is a really good search volume. Something around this domestic abuse. This surprised me. Domestic abuse on its own has 756 searches per month. But what I found, and from our conversation yesterday, that some of you are writing fiction books, fictionalizing these particular topics, so you can still touch on these issues, some of the challenges that people experience when it comes to domestic abuse and domestic violence. And as you can see here, domestic abuse novels has 11,000 searches per month. I mean, so many people are searching for domestic abuse novels. So from your keyword research, you can see that there is a demand for it. There's a market for it. even domestic abuse fiction novel, domestic abuse fiction, there's actually demand for it. Domestic abuse romance books, domestic abuse stories. So there are people who don't really want to be lectured at. People want to read about domestic abuse but not necessarily lecturing them about that. They want to hear about other people's stories, or really get into the scenario, even if it is fiction, just to see how people deal with it. What does domestic violence look like, and how you can escape from it without really being so preachy, by turning it into a novel, or turning it into, you can look at this like, domestic abuse romance books, domestic abuse stories. There is a demand for it. And I looked at this this afternoon, and I was really surprised to see this, but really interesting to see, for those of you who are interested in doing this, if it's your idea to do this, you can see from the keyword research that there is actually a demand for it. In the same way, you can see here domestic violence books, domestic violence romance, domestic violence novels. So people are actually looking for stories rather than books that conceptualize it or talk about it from an academic point of view. They want to understand the experience, and by sharing stories, or sharing, maybe you could write a book around inspirational stories, people going through these really difficult circumstances, and how they recovered, and how they got out of these abusive relationships. But certainly people are looking for books that tap into these stories. And again, have a look at this. There is actually demand for a book on domestic violence against men. So I think this is something that is overlooked. Certainly for me, when I was a university lecturer, I did supervise a lot of students who did research around domestic abuse and domestic violence. And we found that there is a gap in the research, and there is a gap in terms of conversations around domestic violence against men. So, if you are someone who might want to tap into this niche, you can see that there is actually a demand for it. 4,751 searches per month. The competition is also relatively low, so there's not a lot of competition. And in terms of the average monthly earnings, the books using that particular keyword is actually earning as well. So there is a demand, the competition is low, and there's earning potential with a book like that as well. So that's why we do our keyword research. That's why we do our market research. It really does give you an insight into what the market looks like. If there is demand for your topic, if there is if your topic is worth pursuing, and what angle, what content you can put in your book based on what your readers are looking for. So I think that's all from me for today. If you have any other questions, please feel free to type them in the comment section, before we end this coaching call. Certainly, for me as a self-publishing coach, the keyword research is the point that really lights me up. It really gets me excited when I do keyword research with my students and my one-to-one clients, because it does give me an insight into what's going on in the market. It gives me an insight into topics that I've never heard of before. I'm learning new things, but yeah, I'm gaining some insight into what the market looks like right now, and how you can position your books on Amazon when you finally publish and launch it on Amazon. But at this stage in your in planning your book, we've done your core values yesterday. It's very clear to you now why you are writing why you are writing your book. But the next step is have that dialogue with your reader. Get into the mindset of your reader. Remember that it's not just about you writing a book. It's about you sharing that message with the world and having that dialogue with society, or at least having that dialogue with your reader. If you can envision who that reader is, then it would be easier for you to write your book, because now you can ask yourself, what does this person need to hear right now? What can I do to help them? What are their pain points, and how can I ease their pain with the message that I'm sharing with my book? And when you understand that, oh, you'll be so amazed at how the writing will just flow. And when it comes to the market research, the keyword research that we do with Publisher Rocket, it gives you the confidence that, yeah, there is a demand for your book. It will give you some ideas as well, that there are some aspects of your book that you probably have never thought of, or maybe just by going through the keyword research, you'll find that, people are actually looking for a journal, or maybe they're looking for a devotional, like a 30-day devotional or something like that. You will understand what your readers are looking for, so you can serve them better, give them what they are looking for, and it will be easier to connect with them in that way. Awesome. Facebook user says, let's see, who is this Facebook user? Yes, it's Deb. Yes, you do get really excited. I love. Oh, yes. I really do love this process. This is something that, especially when we start this process, I find that some of my students, they do struggle. Sometimes when they put the keywords on the search bar, they get all these low traffic keywords, less than 100 searches per month. And that's because they are putting in words that they think would be good. And then when we start brainstorming, I do remember one of my one-to-one clients. She was Anka. Anka was writing a book around chronic pain. So we were typing in those keywords like how to deal with pain, how to deal with chronic pain. We were getting less than 100 searches per month. So that wasn't really very good. So I said, okay, let's try specific pains like migraine. Let's try arthritis. Let's try back pain. Everybody has back pain right now. So, let's type that in, how to cope with back pain. We were still getting less than 100 searches per month. And I said, okay, Anka, if you are someone with pain, what would you put in on that search bar? And she said, I just want to be free from pain. I just want to feel alive again. I just want to feel my body, and I just want to get rid of this everyday pain. So I think that's when we hit it. When we started getting into the head of the reader and using words that they will use, it will be easier to find those high traffic keywords if you have that conversation with your ideal readers. And I get excited because when we start off with less than 100 searches per month, I do get frustrated as well. Where are these high traffic keywords? It does take a bit of time. It does take a bit of digging. It does take a bit of brainstorming. And when we hit those thousands of, searches per month, those high traffic keywords, I share the joy, I share the excitement, because I've been through the process with them as well. Awesome. So, yeah, it's 10 o'clock here in Athens. So I think I have to mellow a little bit now, because I think our neighbors are asleep. I think my family is asleep. I saw them go crazy earlier, like a couple of minutes ago, but I think they're settling down now, getting ready for bed. So I'm gonna get ready for bed as well. So I hope you found this session helpful. Please do spend a bit of time on keyword research and market research. We have the link for Publisher Rocket, tinyurl.com/SPMS Rocket. Do your keyword research and market research. And then tomorrow, once you understand what your market is looking for, what your readers are looking for, then you can start creating your outline, clarify what you want to include in your book, create that structure. And once you have that structure, you just go for it. You run with it and get your book done. So that's why we are doing this 3-day challenge. Start with your purpose, start with your values, understand your reader, and then create your outline. Once you have that all mapped out, it will be easier for you to carry that forward and get your book done. Start of the year 2021, carry that forward, and hopefully we will have more number one best-selling authors in our community at the end of this process. Awesome. All right. So I think that's it from me for today. Hopefully, we'll catch up again tomorrow. We'll sort out your outline tomorrow. But yeah, if you're catching this up on replay, type hashtag replay so I'll know who's tuning in on replay as well. So that's it, everyone. Thanks for tuning in live. We'll catch up again tomorrow. Take care and enjoy the research. Bye. Bye bye.